Hey guys, this is going to be a video for the second progress check of Unit 3. Kind of different from the ones I've done before. Usually I just kind of explain what you're supposed to do, but considering this is implicit differentiation and it's just weird, I'm just going to go over my answers, alright? So if you're looking at the first one, so question 4, where it gives you 4y squared plus xy minus 2x squared equals 3, and you're trying to find the slope of the line tangent to that curve at the point -1, -1. So basically you're finding the derivative at the point. So we're going to use implicit differentiation. So the derivative of 4y squared is going to be 8y times by y prime. Okay, and then we're going to take the derivative of this right here, but the derivative of this is going to require the product rule. So I'm going to take the first times by the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first, which would be 1, times by the second, okay, and then minus 4x, that's going to be the derivative of that, and then 0 is going to be the derivative of 3. And then I'm just going to plug in my point right here, so plug in -1 for x and y, so -1, -1, and then if I plug in -1 here, that becomes -1, that becomes +5 if I plug in +4 if I plug in -1. And then I'm just going to solve for y prime, so I have -8y here, and I got a y prime right here, so -8y prime, -y prime, that's going to be -9y prime, and then this right here is going to combine to be 3, and so I'm going to subtract the 3 over, divide by -9, and I'm going to get 1/3, which gives the option D. Okay, for the next question, we have another implicit equation. We're just trying to find dy dx, so we're going to find the derivative. So I'm going to take the derivative of cosine, which is negative sine. The inside is going to remain the same, but then I'm going to have to go inside and take the derivative of what's happening inside here. The derivative of 4x is going to be 4, and the derivative of y is going to be y prime. Okay, and then that's going to be equal to the derivative of x is 1, derivative of y is y prime. Now, I'm trying to group the y primes together, but that's only going to be possible is if I distribute this to both these terms right here. So if I do that, that will help me separate this y prime, which can then be grouped with other y primes. So I distribute this negative sign of 4x minus y to the 4. That gives me -4 of that. Then that's going to give me plus y prime times by sine of all that. And then I have this term that has a y prime and this term that has a y prime. So I'm going to subtract this y prime over here, and I'm going to add this expression over there. And that's how I get this right here. And now these terms right here have y prime in it, so I can factor those out. So I get y prime, and then I'm going to be left with this -1. If I take out a y prime from here, that's just going to give me -1. And then I can divide by this expression right here. So divide that other side, and then if you look at your options, it should be D again. Okay, and then for this last one right here, this one's kind of an interesting one, but we're given an equation that looks like this, and we're going to take the derivative. This first side's going to require the product rule, so I'm going to take the first times the derivative of g of y. But as I take the derivative of this, that's going to be g prime of y, but I have to go inside and take the derivative of y, which would be y prime. So that's usually what most people forget in this problem. So I do the first times by the derivative of the second, plus the derivative of the first times by the second. Then I go over here and I take the derivative of 24, which would be 0, the derivative of x, which is 1, derivative of y, which is y prime. And then I'm just going to start plugging in these values. So I'm evaluating the derivative of this at 1, 3. So I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and I'm going to plug in 3 for y. And then we're going to solve for y prime after that. And I'm going to get all of these values right here just from the table, if I use the table. And then once I plug in those values, ... I can come to the conclusion that y prime is equal to 5, which is C. Okay, so hopefully if you got stuck on any of those, maybe that provides some clarity to that, but hopefully it helps.